My name is Zach Schaefer, and this is a video for Dr. Kent Hovind and his followers. It's about the end time stuff. It's pretty clear, and I love you, Dr. Hovind. I mean, I prayed for you to get out of jail, and I'm so glad you're out finally, and it was very unjust what happened to you. You are a master on the subject of the beginning of times, in my opinion. Creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. I don't think you quite have a grip on the end times. And case in point, I'm going to start with is, well, I'm going to go over your timeline. I'm going to go over the definition of words. And some things will become really clear to you. And I'm just going to keep it simple. I mean, if you look at some good pre-trib rapture teachings, you'll start to answer the questions a lot better. For instance, in Thessalonians, when Paul says, comfort one another with these words, there's no comfort in your theory. There's no comfort in any post-trib theory. Sorry about the video quality. I don't know. I don't know what else to do other than just hold this phone and try to figure this out. But so, the beginning. Wrath and tribulation. What is the difference? The difference is not... Let me flip this around if I can. Anyway, the difference is not... And this is your timeline here in orange, basically. We agree that the tribulation is Daniel's 70th week. I guess you don't agree on that. You say that the wrath is back here, like into the 1,000-year reign. Sorry about the video quality again, but the point is this. Wrath is defined as such. It is the Greek word orge, and it means punishment, anger, indignation, and vengeance. Tribulation, however, is the Greek word thlipsis, and it means affliction, anguish, burdened, and trouble. So, let me show you this. This is my horrible handwriting, but you can see writing through here. Wrath is those definitions, tribulation has those 4 words. So let's go back to wrath and punishment. Penalty as retribution for an offense. People have offended God and they will get punished. God's wrath will be punishment. Let's go to the opposite word here, tribulation. And the first word it defines is, or adds to the definition, I guess, would be affliction. And it says state of pain, distress, grief, and misery. State of pain. Is God going to be in a state of pain? Not really. He's going to be fine. It's the people that will have this state of pain. Wrath. Let's go back up to the second word is its definition, anger. And that is God's. Strong feeling of displeasure aroused by a wrong. People have wronged God. Therefore God is angry. So again, the wrath is God's. The second word defining tribulation is anguish, excruciating or acute distress, suffering or pain. That is for the people. God's not going to be in pain. He's going to be given it. So over and over again, what I'm going to show you here is that the giver, wrath is what God is going to be giving. It's not a separate period of time. And tribulation is what people are going to receive. So this is going to be, back to your chart here, not going to be a 997 reign here. Okay? Over there. It's not 3 years of wrath after the tribulation. That is not how it goes. You need to take this period of wrath, slide it back into the tribulation period. That's going to make a lot more sense for this stuff. I agree with you that the abomination of desolation is in the middle of the 70th week. I agree that the treaty will be signed at the beginning, part of what will mark the beginning of the tribulation. But I also believe that you're going to have the Son of Man revealed. He's going to be the one involved in that treaty, the son of perdition, I should say. And also it's also known as the day of the Lord, the day of Christ. So anyway, that simple defining of the words, understand what you're talking about. See, God didn't say the 997-year reign of Christ. You know, he said the 1,000-year reign of Christ. So you come back here where you have the rapture. That's actually the second coming. Okay, that's the end of the tribulation. Christ returns. We're coming back with him. And I know what you're going to get at is Revelation 19. He kills them with the sword of his mouth and all that. But that doesn't look like it's going to take 3 years. While he's setting up his king. I mean, the ruling with a rod of iron. That's Revelation 19 could take a day. Like I said, or like you say, the Grand Canyon didn't take millions of years to get formed. It could have happened in a couple of weeks. And I think, with this situation, it's going to be as fast, if not faster. So anyway, because of the definition of the words, wrath scoots right back into this. This is all the tribulation, time of Jacob's trouble, time of Israel's trouble, and the whole wicked world. Why is it that he's punishing the wicked? Because the righteous are not here. He will not punish the righteous with the wicked. Let's get that straight. And this is a time of Jacob's trouble, the 70th week of Daniel. It's got to do with the first 69 weeks of Israel and the last one, the 70th week. It's all about Israel at the end, and they didn't recognize their Messiah, and we do without having seen him in the flesh and being there, and so our reward is great. Luke 21:36 says, "Pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things," and it doesn't say half these things. We're going to escape all these things. So anyway, my chart down here is this blue one. I want to start with the word apostasy, or apostasia is the Greek word. It's 2 root words. First word, the first prefix there is apo, and it means, well, it's actually worth 1,000 words here. If you look at a Greek prefix chart, here's the picture. You have all kinds of ek and every n and all kinds of other things going on usually on a Greek prefix chart. But here is apo, to be removed from the surface of an object. And stasia, just like homeostasis, is your state of being. So it's the state of being removed from the surface of an object. That's why the original said departure before they changed it. So there's going to be a departure first. There's the rapture. Falling away is a pretty poor translation of apostasia, which is the state of being removed from the surface of an object. One thing that I've never really gotten into was really trying to figure out what all the different 2300 days, the 1040 days, the 1290, and the 1260. I'll be honest, I've not studied it greatly. But I will say that it's, this doesn't work, all that stuff, whatever you think clicked, it just doesn't make any sense. But when you get to the 2300 days, and this is just like a 2 cents throwing it out there kind of thing, but just reading it in Daniel 8, I'll read it. Let's see here. Daniel. And this was easy. All I had to do was read it. Verse 13, I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that saint, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? How long shall it be concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation? He said 2,300 days. Okay, so check it out. 2,300 days is like 6.39 years. And if you put it all back where it belongs, in the Great Tribulation or the Tribulation, under God's wrath, you see wrath is coming down from God. People are receiving the tribulation, the burden. They're yielding to that vessel, which is God. Anyway, it all belongs in this 70 weeks, or this last 7 years. And you've got, if you kind of come backwards, it makes sense in the sense, or in the way that you've got about 6 months at the beginning that could be open for the construction of the temple. And, it's 6.39 years is 2,300 days. So there's where the sacrifice could begin, and the abomination of desolation at the middle, and the fullness of that 2,300 days. Like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time on that, but just reading that part made a lot of easy sense. And of course, at the end of the tribulation is what you see in verse 31 of Matthew 24. That's the second coming. That's not the rapture. Okay, you're putting weight, your anchor, your anchor point of the sun and the moon going dark. That's like a little drywall anchor. I mean, that there's just so much going on. If you look at the scientific charts, the NASA charts, excuse me, of blood moons and solar eclipses, there are many coming in the near future. They're alone they are not very rare, but as a tetrad they are. A lot of us pre-tribbers are looking at the blood moons and the solar eclipses as a possible sign of Joel 231, because Joel 231 doesn't say the moon goes dark, and I know it's a lunar eclipse and you say, oh, it goes dark, but it does say blood moons. It doesn't say sun and moon going dark like it does in Matthew 24. So the point there is he could be referring to something different, something a little more special. Before the tribulation, you'll see these signs. And as a person that, well, there's a lot of us that can make easy sense of a pre-tribulation gathering together. We are not appointed to wrath. You know, like I said, you've got wrath and tribulation as two different things. They're not. It's the same mess. It's just that one's receiving, one's giving. God's giving the wrath. He's angry. We're receiving anguish, you know, burden, a load. So anyway, this is just a short video. I've got a lot more to come, and hopefully I'll figure out a different way to do this with a camera system. My computer frustrates me though. I'm a stonemason. I make rocks smaller, so this computer stuff at all is very new to me and is more frustrating than I don't know. It's just I don't like it so much, but I do love watching your videos, Kent. I'm sure your followers love you as much as I do. Like I said, I prayed crying that you would just, to God, to help you get out, because you are awesome on the beginning. I don't see any flaws, any faults. When you get into the book of Revelation and eschatology, you really have to watch your literature. You know, this isn't exactly where a science teacher alone, that kind of background helps. You know, literature, the Word of God is words, and if you don't define your words properly, you can get really confused and put wrath after tribulation because you think it's different times. And that's like I said, scoot that back into the tribulation and put your rapture. I will honestly say this. I'm really glad you actually think that the rapture takes place before the second coming and that they're two separate events. That is the beginning of a pre-tribber's understanding. Your R should be right there. We're raptured out. And then all these things take place. And then it's the second coming. And then Revelation 19, when he kills them with the sword of his mouth. It's not going to take long. It's not going to take 3 years. That could take a day. And then the 1,000-year reign will start. So I love you. I hope you are blessed. Glad you're out of jail. Anyway, I hope this helps you and some other people get this all straightened out a little bit. And if there's anything you want to rebut, please, I'll take it on. I'll try to make a better video in the future. Thanks.